According to this, it says we're live. So let's get it going. All right. Welcome live from the crossroads of America. A talk show. It's a 1 hour talk show tonight, shooting with disabilities. But we also talk guns, politics, or anything else that crosses our mind. Answer questions from the audience. Put them in the chat or email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com. That's about it. I got a Patreon page, and I think that about covers it. Oh, Ghost Tactical's in the chat. So you want a link to come in here, Ghost Tactical? So all right. Let me see who I got in the room so far in the chat. Who we got in here? Come on. Having technical difficulties. Here we go. We got Unknown User, Patriot in the Dark, Gun Loving Grandpa, Jason Stewart, Sabrina, Rich White, Gizzard Gary, Ghost Tactical, Mystic Guns. So there we go so far. All right, let me introduce my panel. We got the one and only Patriot in the Dark. How you doing?
I am doing wonderful, Rick. Thanks for having me. I would just like to throw in really quick, if you guys have checked out SMK, if you check out my playlist on my channel, I have him in the PSA. There is a hashtag going on right now, which is hashtag help 22 vets or veterans. Sorry, hashtag help 22 veterans. That's what it is. Anyways, he's got a huge giveaway. He's one of the coin guys with silver and all that stuff. A lot of people are donating. It's really good. So please go check that out. SMK.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Then we got the good old Squibload from Michigan.
Hey, good evening.
Good to have you on, Squib.
Thanks.
Then we got New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Hello, everybody.
All right. Then we got the one and only Blind Shooter.
Hey, Rick. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And our guest tonight is Ron from Ryker Grips. So introduce him. How you doing, Ron?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. You want to tell us about yourself and what you do and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I'm Ron Holmes. I am the inventor of the Ryker Grip, and I retired from Marine Special Operations in 2010. I served 20 years, almost my whole career in force reconnaissance, and then after I retired, I went into government service. I was in the capacity of a gunfighter, and I had multiple surgeries prior to retiring. I got bilateral shoulder and elbow surgery, so I got rubber bands that hold my shoulders in and screws and anchors that hold my elbows together. So those things started combining. When I was shooting, my support arm was going painfully numb, and I had to find something that was going to allow me to do my job efficiently. And then I started cutting, screwing, melting, grips and stuff together to come up with what we have now as the Ryker Grip. Like I said, I made it for pain management so I could shoot my AR pain free, and that was the initial thought, and we've come much further since then.
Okay. I mean, you covered a couple of my questions already. So what inspired you to develop it? That's because of your injuries. You know? All right. Can you describe the grip and talk about it?
I know we can't show guns on live TV, but this is our second round of packaging. So the Ryker Grip is made out of the same nylon-infused polymer for those of you guys that can see it. It's 3.25 ounces. This is version 1. So right now it comes out of the packaging set up for a right-handed shooter. All you have to do is pull this horizontal set screw out, flip it around. It's a capsule nut system. It's marine proof. It only goes on one way. and then you put it back on. And I'm a lefty, so I like to say you put it on the correct side of the rifle. Then you also have your two vertical set screws right here, and you remove these and slide this onto your Picatinny rail, and just apply them, apply them back on, and you're good to go. All you need, it doesn't matter. All you need is a minimum 3-inch piece of Picatinny rail. So if you're running M-Lock or a key mod rail, or one of the other rails that just got like the little screw holes in it, I don't know the name of it. You just need a 3-inch piece of Picatinny, and you can put this the Ryker grip on there. The learning curve for this, for a new shooter or experienced shooter, is 30 rounds. One mag, some up downs, some side to sides, and you get through that second mag, it's not coming off your gun. We say for shotguns, we say about 6 on a pump. It's about 16 shells, and you've got your rhythm on how you got it down. And again, it's not coming off the gun.
Okay. What's my other one here? How has the response been with the gun community?
So, I say this on all the podcasts I've been on. The internet is not a kind place at all. The gun industry screams for change and begs for change, but when you give it to them, they know better and they're afraid of change. And then the other observation is, in our armed forces, all the branches. The special operations community makes up 1% of the entire armed forces, but yet everybody on Facebook is a special operator. So getting through all of that and introducing something new, we went through, I like to call it prison rape and hate. So we had a fight the hate campaign, and we were just engaging with everybody. So it was a rough start. But we've, from prototype, we've been on the market 2.5 years. So from prototype through production, we have over 5 years on the ground in combat in 6 countries with all the top tier guys. Within our company, with reaching out to help us with the prototyping phase and moving forward. So we're getting there. What we have found is, again, like I said, and I mentioned this on purpose, is I initially was just thinking one-dimensional so I could shoot my AR pain-free. And then along the way, we're like, hey, let's put it on a shotgun. Let's put it on 308. And then we started realizing that we felt faster. And then the pain relief we had, and then the accuracy. You can do the eye test, and you can see that the accuracy is tighter under stress shooting. Shooting at distance started to seem a lot faster, and accuracy was improved. So we're figuring out all these things, and then as we move into development, then we have guys that are hitting us, who hit us up and says, "Hey, I'm a retired police officer," and he goes, "I have a lung transplant." He goes, "I was shot forever." He goes, "I haven't been able to shoot because I'm not strong enough to hold a rifle." He's like, "Your grip is giving me the ability to shoot again because of how the grip offsets and opens up the shoulder, and it doesn't put pressure on his chest." We've got, and I was actually just with him last weekend, Medal of Honor recipient, Kyle Carpenter, who is probably one of the best humans I've ever met in my life, and I love that kid to death. And such a great kid, but we took him shooting. And again, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Kyle and what he did in his injury. So his right arm is he's got a bunch of nerve damage, and he has skin grafts on it. And his hand has very limited movement in his right hand, and his fingers are kind of in a fixed position. So he can't hold a rifle even with a broom handle or a wedge. He can't rotate his wrist. So he hasn't really been able to shoot as much as he would like to. We put our rifle with the Ryker grip in his hands, and he shot one mag. He turned around and was like, "This is amazing," and asked if he could keep shooting. We put a chest rig on him, and he burned through like a dozen mags and turned around. And he's like, "Fellas," he goes, "I'm not even going to lie to you." He's like, "Right now, as I am right now with this grip," he goes, "I could go back to Afghanistan." So it's, those are the things that, when I made this, you never thought about this. And then and we've got quite a few guys who have reached out to us and who with some type of disability, cerebral palsy, missing legs, missing an arm, stuff like that, or missing fingers. And, guys just reaching out and they're like, you guys have given me something back. So it's been that I say has been great. And I think one of the hardest things that we've had in this is we're in the hardest industry to do anything in. Meaning everything's done here. Everything's done like this. Everything's done on social media, but you can't do paid advertising in any form on any form of social media, YouTube, Google Ads, everything. So that has been our challenge, is to organically grow and get our reach out there. To obviously to help with sales, and then we like to say one of our hashtags is really long, but it's hashtag changing the world one grip at a time. We do a lot of gun shows in North Carolina. I'm in Eastern North Carolina, so we do a lot of gun shows around here. And we've got gun shows that we've done in the last 2 years that we've done 7 times, 8 times. And we still have people coming up to the booth like, I have never seen this before. This is great in our home state, so that's been, I think, our biggest challenge. We get people like, oh, it looks funny, it's going to get caught. And we just like, look, it's not for everybody. We believe in it. And all we just say is just try it. Just try it. And when people try it, and we got a couple of videos we show, the other benefits of the grip we realize is it reduces fatigue to the point where you're on target longer and your accuracy is improved at distance for sustained rates of fire. It reduces, if not eliminates, recoil. It 100% removes your hand from the heat. And we found the heavier the gun, the higher the caliber, and or full auto, you recognize the benefit of the Ryker grip instantly.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Patriot, you got any questions you want to ask? Talk to me.
I think he's on mute.
He must be doing something with his daughter. So let's go back to Squib. You got any questions?
Well, I haven't seen the video, so I haven't actually seen what this grip looks like. But based on your description, it sounds like you're covering a lot of bases. It sounds like you're getting people back into what they want to do, what they've been wanting to get back to. So I think just based off your description, even though I may not be a person who needs this, at least not at this point in my life, I want to check this thing out because this could be something useful. I mean, does it also help with dealing with things like arthritis pain or anything like that?
So for me, again, like I'm a 100% disabled, service-related disabled veteran, and when I retired, and it's crazy to think that I'm actually on my 10th year of retirement right now, and I have a 3-year-old. But they told me in my final, what's up?
Your robot.
They told me in my final physical. What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said your robot. You're not coming across clear.
You might want to turn your camera off.
You might want to turn your camera off, which helps with it helps with the broadband width.
Yeah, if you turn your camera off, it'll reduce how much it's using, so that you don't robot. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, is that better?
It's that North Carolina internet.
Yes, it is. Am I still roboting or am I good?
No, you're good now.
Okay, all right. So they told me at my retirement physical that they're like, yeah, you've got arthritis in your whole body, and I was like, whatever. And I tell you, in these last couple of years, I really have noticed it in my hands more than anything. So guys with arthritis, I can't say that like it's going to be the same for everybody, but what we've noticed is guys with existing injuries, neck compressions, shoulder, elbow, wrist issues, arthritis, the grip doesn't really aggravate them because you're in a biomechanic or a natural body position. So if you think about traditional methods, like we don't teacup a pistol. We shoot pistols, thumbs forward, shoulders over toes, in an athletic stance now. Why would we continue to shoot and teach people how to shoot a rifle similarly as a teacup with that hand underneath? What you're doing, whether you're using a broom handle, a wedge, a nub, or even doing that thumb over board, what you're doing is trying to mitigate recoil and maintain accuracy. But what you're doing to your body is inducing fatigue and physical stressors. Because your hand is underneath the gun, you're holding the weight of the gun up. And when you're doing this, especially with backpack, body armor on, that front delt on the support arm will become super fatigued. And that's when you start to lose your accuracy. And that's when your arm starts to get tired and the fatigue sets in. Just by placing the hand from underneath the gun out to the side of the rifle, you open up the shoulder pocket, you improve blood flow. You now are putting your support arm in the same exact position it is when you shoot pistol. So if you look at it across the board, the rifle, your AR platform, your PCC, your shotgun, and your pistol, you're almost in the same body position for all. This in itself is going to make you faster when transitioning between weapons.
All right. Did you get that, Squib? Did I answer your question for you?
Yeah, but I still teacup. I don't have a problem with it. That's the way I was taught, and it seems to work. But if somebody else does something different, I'm good with it. But yeah, no, the arthritis angle was just where I was going with that. So yeah, it's a very detailed answer, and like your description, it's you're a pretty good salesman already.
Well, I did invent it, and then when we started our company, my partners made a decision to call it Ryker, which is my son's name. So the company and the grip are named after my son. So I can't not be passionate about it.
Yeah, Squib, the Marines taught you to shoot teacup?
Yep. I learned on my M9 that way, and from what I can tell, it's just like the marksmanship on the M16A2. It goes back to World War II. The marksmanship and the rifle range stuff we use was just like the M1 Garand in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I was one of the last ones to learn that way, but I've always done it since. And I'm not saying my way is the only way, but I've tried thumbs forward, and it's like asking me to write left-handed. I don't get it. So, but the thing is, I've never heard a decent argument for not teacupping. I've never heard anybody give me one reason, and I don't have a problem hitting the target. So, I mean, I don't know. If you want to thumb forward, knock yourself out. I don't care.
Yeah.
You got to take that with a grain of salt. He also drinks flavored coffees, so there is that.
But I've run my own marksmanship instruction for the last 11 years, and I think my youngest student has been 8 years old, and my oldest has been 81. And what I have found for just how I teach, I teach how I was, when I was a kid, I was taught by my dad, who was a cop and carried a revolver and, thumbs crossed on the back, and other pistols, teacup. And then, when I became a recon Marine and went through my first shooting package and spent a good 14 years of my life with a 1911, you just, you get into that routine. And I have found for me, for teaching is I have modified grips a little bit depending on hand size and, ailments. Not everybody has upper body strength and everything like that. But the one thing I've found for teaching, that athletic stance is, especially with new shooters and older shooters, is getting the shoulders over the toes. Shoulders over toes seems to really help them manage recoil better, especially when they're don't have like the best hand strength. And that's just an observation and a tool. And I mean, I actually don't have anything scientific to back that up. That's just something that I have done.
Yeah, I found that if people are shooting with a stance or a grip that they're comfortable with, it's just like, having a firearm that they're comfortable with. They'll do better if they're doing what works for them. And as long as they're not doing something unsafe, hey, you do you. I do Weaver stance and just so when I'm teacupping there with a Weaver stance, people at the range are looking at me and it's like, what? I'm hitting the target. but it's just the way I was trained, and it's kind of one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of things.
Oh yeah.
And so I am the old dog out there, but I've said time and again, I'll take an M1 Garand over that M16A2 any day as well. And they go, why? It only holds 8 rounds. It's got heavy ammunition. It's got wood on it. It's like, I guess I'm just an old dog. I don't know.
Hey, you should check out Ohio Ordnance. They have a rifle called the HCAR, HCAR, and it is a modern version of the BAR.
No, they make a semi-auto BAR, but isn't it it's a closed bolt system on their semi-auto, isn't it?
Yeah. It's 30-06. They have 20 round. They made 30 round mags for it. I was actually up there right before Christmas and shot it, and I'll tell you right now, 30-06, it has the same, if not less, recoil than 5.56. They have really done an amazing, and it's light. It's really light in comparison to the original. But no, I just like to tell people about that who like the older, heavier guns. It's nice. It is $5,000, So, but which is why I don't have one yet.
I'll just put it on my credit card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For you, Ron, from the audience here. The guy says here, I would love to have a shotgun pump handle made like that. Have you had any thoughts on making a pump shotgun foregrip with his grip built in?
Yeah, so our YouTube channel is Ryker USA, RYKER USA. We have a bunch of videos on there, and I actually have a side-by-side video I just did. I put up a few months ago, and it's me shooting Mossberg 500, one with pump, one with the grip on the pump, and you can see the difference on it. So it depending on your shotgun, if it's a pump, you can go to your Google machine or Amazon and look for a M-Lock Picatinny or Keymod rail or a forend. Put that on there, and then you can put the Ryker grip on there, and you will notice a difference instantly.
Well, there you go. That was from unknown user out there in the chat.
Well, here, one more thing with shotguns. So one of the things that we found, when you're shooting a pump, right, you're applying grip strength to hold the pump. You're pulling down to manage recoil, and then you're having to pull back. So you're doing you're like doing 3 different things to accomplish one thing. When you put the Ryker grip on the side of the rifle, you squeeze that trigger because you're already pulling it back to the rear into your shoulder, and that's what eliminates the recoil and the fatigue. Because you're pulling it back, as you squeeze that trigger and that shell fires, your support hand is coming straight back already, and then you just rack it right forward. And what that's actually doing is cutting your recoil arc in half, which is allowing for faster follow-up shots.
Okay. I might have to look into getting one of those. Blind Shooter, you got any questions for us, Ron?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what's the price range on it? So
they retail online for $74.99. And again, people, we do get some pushback like that. I can get this for $15 on Amazon. And we completely understand that. One, we think our grip is superior, but being a small business, and I'll tell you, my team, my partners are amazing. They're both Navy guys, so there's always that the good rivalry between us. But they're businessmen. I am the the pseudo knuckle dragger, and I've learned so much on this journey. And just taking something that was in my head and some sketches and some plastic that I melted together, and now here we are. It's a long process, and there's a lot of cost involved. We do have, once we start offering different models down the road, our goal is to ultimately get this to where the manufacturing cost is reduced, so we can reduce the cost of the grip. But being a service disabled, veteran owned small business, we have to work within our parameters. But I'll tell you this for everybody that's listening, for you guys, if you guys use the code Ryker20, RYKER20 at checkout, you will receive our best discount. It's 20% off. So.
No, thank you.
Okay, you said these are made out of plastic. Do you have your own injection molding machines?
Yeah, so we actually contracted a manufacturer facility in Virginia. It's made out of the glass infused polymer that the everything else is, all your other accessories, your pistol grips, your buttstocks, that same material. That's what this is made out of. And it is injected molded up there.
Okay, I was just asking because right now I'm doing preventative maintenance on a 390-ton injection molding machine.
No.
Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan to start doing stuff in house somewhere down the road, or do you want to just keep subcontracting it out?
Right now, I mean that's something that we can address. Once we start expanding the product line, we went with this company for a few reasons. Is because one, our ultimate goal is to make the joystick of the weapon. So like I said, this is version 1, and we do want to have integrated controls, light, laser, button, a gimbal on here. And so the grip is actually hollow on the inside, and it's designed, the mold, we made the mold a specific way so we can retrofit this with the buttons and the wires to come, in it and operate your devices. So we went with this manufacturer because they make and assemble, inspect, ship, and handle returns and everything. So it was like a one-stop shop, and it's relatively close for us to get to if we ever had to go up there. But we're always open to other things, and yeah.
Now, with the disabled users, have you got feedback and incorporated that with any of your designs? I know that you said there's obviously a progression of what you started from to what you have now. Do you get feedback like that?
So we've gotten feedback from tons of feedback on a bunch of different suggestions and ideas. Right. So if you have the grip and you look at it, I talked about the castle nut system that is marine proof. It only goes on one way. The original goal that we wanted to do was to make this where you had finite adjustments, so you could change the pitch of the grip for a little bit more personal feel for the individual. What we found is that with this design and the mold, we couldn't get it to where the polymer would be strong enough where it wouldn't eventually strip. So we went with this because this angle and this grip size right now is based off of 80% of hand and wrist mobility in the United States. We do have, like on the drawing board, an option to have an adjustable grip to really personalize the position for guys who might have a fixed wrist or have like some bad arthritis or just some hand issues, some tendon issues where they can't really move they need to rotate their wrists a little bit more. So that we do have a plan for that, kind of making it like a ball and socket option. But right now we're focusing on a couple different mounts, getting some different mounts out there that we've been prototyping for the last 6 months, and then really ultimate goal is getting the integrated controls into this for civilian law enforcement version, and then the military version, which is going to be a whole nother level of electronics and components.
All right. New York Outcast, you got any questions?
No, pretty much covered everything that I can think of. I was curious on the price. How long have you, what type of durability testing has been done with it? That would probably be my only question.
So when we first launched, I don't know if you guys know who John Wayne Taylor is. He writes for The Truth About Guns, and you can go on there and pull. He did an amazing article on it, and where he actually talks about how he tried to break it, and he talks about the fatigue factor, and he says in there, he's just like, the one thing that sold me on it was the shot timer. He said the shot timer didn't lie, and he goes, he's faster with it. But when he was trying to break it, he was torquing it and everything, and it didn't break. We've actually had because people are like, oh, it's going to get caught and it's going to break, and we know it's not. I don't know the procedure, the strength testing that the engineer firm created, when they made the design. But we had two guys put a grip on their Midwest Industry rail, and they put the grip in a vise, and they were torquing it, trying to break the grip, and they cracked the rail, and the grip was fine. So we haven't had any return for breaking, and we tell people if it breaks, send it back. You're obviously getting a new one, but we really hope that you have a good story with it, because if this thing breaks, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that went wrong.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So basically, if somebody slipped and fell and landed on it, it would survive without an issue. And if there is a problem, it would be warranted. Is what you're stating.
100%. Yeah. Like we put it on. Yeah, we put it on a pull-up bar and done pull-ups on it. And what we have found is the weak point has always just been on the rail, not the grip.
All right. I got another question for you from the audience.
Yeah.
Rich White wants to know what the legality of it is for the AR pistol.
Yes. We have fallen victim to too much government, and the ATF, they gave it to us. In Marine Corps speak, they gave us the big green weenie. And they said they put it in the vertical foregrip category, requiring you to get an SBR tax stamp to put this on an AR pistol.
Oh, bastards!
Yes, and I'll tell you that whole process. Look, I don't want to. Everybody has a job to do, and I understand that. But these guys, like, we actually ended up having to get our state senator involved because we were doing everything, and then they came out and they rewrote the rules. So we actually had to send them a rifle or an AR pistol with the grip on it. And then the whole review process started all the way over again. We did what they have on their website, and they did not do what they said they do on their website. And it took 18 months for them to tell us, no, it's a vertical foregrip, even though it's mounted horizontally. And we tried to even sell it as a medical device to them. Like this is good for law enforcement, for guys who have, existing injuries. And nope, they were like, nah, it's vertical foregrip. So what can you do?
So Rich, you can't put it on your AR pistol.
Now I will tell you this: you legally can't, but we've got guys that send us pictures all the time, and we can't post them. We're like, thank you for the picture. The picture's awesome. We can't post it because then that means we're promoting putting it on a pistol, and then we're going to get in trouble. But I know there's a lot of dudes that runs the CZ Scorpion, and they're like, yeah, I don't care what the ATF says, I'm not taking it off. So I'm like, heck yeah, America.
That's right. That's right.
I was just thinking, I haven't heard the big green weenie in 25 years.
Yeah. Are you old enough to know what that was, Patriot?
I'm just as old as old Squib there, but I was muted. I was laughing. So
yeah, I was over here laughing too.
Because I was.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else got any more questions?
Go ahead,
Patriot.
I was just going to throw out there about you said that within 30 rounds or 16 rounds, depending on what you're shooting. Now, with the teams competition, can you tell a little bit about that? I know that I'd heard about the young shooters.
Yeah. So she's 12 now, and our first sponsored shooter was 10 at the time. And if you guys want to check her out on social media, she's Alpha Addie. And she, when she was younger, she's still young, but she was, wanting to be a competitive shooter, but tiny, didn't have the upper body strength to, manipulate the weapon fast and accurately. We released the grip. They bought the grip. She dry fire practiced for a week, went out to a competition and took 60 seconds off her rifle times. Fast forward, she's 12. She's now 12 years old, paid to shoot. She has her own signature F1 rifle pistol combo, and she's a sponsored shooter at 12 years old. Same story with Pineapple Shooter in Florida. I think she's now 13. She's the same thing, and she runs the grip on shotgun and on her PCC. We actually just picked up Nader. I'll find his screen name here in a second, but we just picked up Nader at SHOT Show this year. 13-year. He's our first male sponsored shooter. And Nader _junior.shooter3gun on Instagram. And so we're looking forward to seeing what he does. But he's his parents. I met his parents at SHOT Show, and then we were talking, and they were like, "Yeah, our son was looking at your grip," and I was like, if he wants, we'll sponsor him. So we'll see what he does and everything like that. But we'll sponsor anybody that that is, I would say, in a good, for kids, especially in a good family, firearms safety, firearms instruction. That's the one thing about our 3 young sponsored shooters, is their foundation at home is solid. Just hands-on with the parents, firearm safety is important. But along that, the other things, school, and then there's martial arts involved, and there's fishing and hunting and all these other things that these kids are doing. But the foundation, and I'm probably getting off on a little tangent from your question there, Patriot, but I talk about this all the time. I was actually just talking to the guy who's running for lieutenant governor here in North Carolina, who I absolutely love. And, I said the thing that's missing is education in the home. And I have had, over the years, at least 20 people come to my class who were anti-gun, were hard left, and they woke up one day and realized they had no idea why they hated guns so much. And they had got my name from somebody, and they came out, and at the end of the day, they're like, I can't believe I wasted my whole life hating this. This is amazing. So it's just all about education and presentation. Getting back to shooters, we've got a handful of adults that run it in competition, and we haven't really gone after competitive shooters on the adult circuit. The kids has worked out well because it made sense, because they're tiny and upper body strength, hasn't fully developed yet. But our main focus has also, been like law enforcement and military.
Okay. I'm trying to, you more likely answered it already. There was a question in the email I got here from the kingpin himself. He must be working. I'm not sure. How does Ron market this to non-disabled shooters?
The same way, like just videos, like I would love to have, I don't have any videos like guys have done on their own, like disabled shooters. I would love to have some that we could post up and put on our YouTube channel. But other than that, it's I'll tell you this is, in our development process, we didn't, again, I already shared with you my feelings on, the internet and social media with new products, but we knew that we were going to get some amount of pushback. And that's why we brought on a team of doctors. So we have a ergonomic specialist, biomechanics PhD guy, ophthalmologists, 2 SOCOM MDs, statisticians, and engineers that helped us with this. So everything we did was from scientific, studies and advancements in each phase of our prototyping. Having that, we felt was a good foundation for us to start. But the next thing is our doctors are actually writing a medical article right now to get the Ryker grip listed as a medical device. Where this is important is for our first responders, for law enforcement. If we can get this thing approved as a medical device, they aren't going to have to worry about trying to get their department to buy it or them buy it themselves. They can go to their doctor, and their doctor will write them a prescription for it.
I like that idea.
Yeah, and when I heard that, I was like, "Are you serious? Can we do that?" And they were like, "Yep, we just did it for the titanium hammer. So if you swing a hammer for a living, you can go to your doctor, and they can write you a prescription for a titanium hammer."
Wow.
So Now this process, that took them almost 6 years to get that done. The process is not fast. So I think we're at about almost 2 years into that process. So we got some time still, but we're getting there.
Yeah, well, hey, it'd be worth it. I still think it's wrong that the ATF, discriminate. To me, it's like somebody said in the chat. It's like discriminating against a person with disability, making them pay a stamp for it.
Yep. Yep.
ADA. I did that for Squib.
Has anybody else got any questions?
Thanks, Patriot.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have you guys tried partnering with any other companies? For example, I know you said you're in North Carolina, right?
Correct.
Have you guys looked into the Stumpy's Custom Guns? There are a bunch of disabled Marines that do their own gunsmithing. So maybe partnering with them, a little bit more revenue going.
Stumpy's Custom. I'm pulling it up right now in my bar.
Yeah, I think they're in Swansboro. South
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm in Wilmington. Okay, yeah, I'll yeah. I think we're about 15 retailers that have the grip available. We're working with we're just completed a partnership deal with a company that has the contract for the integrated controls. So we're that's kind of where we're at. We're this past SHOT Show has been really good for us, and we are looking to do private label for a couple companies that are interested in potentially carrying the grip. So we take the Ryker logo off and we put their logo on. We're set up for that. And that's the ultimate thing too, is to get it to big enough where it sells itself, or it's we're bought by a higher entity, and then we're brought on as R&D to help the continued growth for our vision. But yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anybody? No. Okay, what's Tennessee gun guy say? I have to shoot rifles in my AR pistol from rest due to the disability. This could help him. There you go. You got to try it. Tennessee gun guy.
Tennessee gun guy. We got a 120-day money back guarantee. All right, so use that code Ryker20 at checkout, and if you don't like it and it doesn't work, send it back. No questions asked. Just send it back. So if you don't like it, but I'm confident you'll like it. We've got guys we had one guy who shot us a letter, and he's like, I went hog hunting from a helicopter, and he goes, I've done this a lot. He goes, I dropped 6 hogs in like 4 seconds. It was crazy. And everybody's like, holy cow, how'd you do that fast? And he said the only thing he did different was add our grip. And then he goes, this is probably a good time to mention that I don't have any legs. He goes, I'm a dual amputee, IED blast. And he goes, so it's very hard for me to get a stable shooting platform off of his torso. And he was like, your grip dials me right in. So, allowed him to push onto the cable, and helped him out and helped him slay some hogs. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. So
I have another question about your, as far as your site, ordering these, are there different models or is it one model?
Right now you can have it in any color you want as long as it's black.
Okay.
And
it's great.
And one size fits all. Some of the other modifications that we want to do is kind of like what Glock and all the pistol companies are doing with like the small, medium, large backstrap you can put on. We've got a couple ideas and designs, in reserve, just waiting. But we were thinking about doing something like that for different hand sizes. The one thing that we're really working on right now, like I mentioned, was the different mounts. So we went with, in our mold, we went with the Picatinny mount because that's what the military has, other than, like CAG and DEV and some parts of MARSOC. Those guys are running all, whatever they want, but most of them I think are running like MLOC. The majority of big Army, big Marine Corps, they still have the quad Picatinny rail for everything they have to put on. So that's why we went with Picatinny. So where we've now, our next thing that we're going to be releasing hopefully very soon is going to be a direct M-lock mount. So what this does is, obviously you won't need a piece of Picatinny rail. You just put it right onto your M-lock. And we're going to offer a short post and a long post. So I'll try to explain this and not confuse everybody. The short post will actually the current profile of the grip. If you use the short post, it'll put it a 1/4 inch closer to the gun. If you use the long post, it'll keep the profile exactly the same as it is with the current mounting system. But what it does is it creates more space in between the grip and the rail for dudes with larger hands. And then we have another attachment that we're working that's going to go between the grip and the mount. And it's a raised piece of Picatinny that you'll actually be able to put your pressure pads on for light laser functions until we get to integrated controls. And this will be, or you can put your light right on there, and it's just going to be a lot easier for you to just dip your thumb right over onto it. And again, like that's, we actually have some on our YouTube channel, I have some videos, some different mounting options for mounting lights and using lights with pressure pads or direct, direct top mount 45 pick, rail and stuff like that.
All right. Did that answer your question? Whoever asked that one? That was
Yes, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some people out in the chat saying stuff about you, Patriot.
Uh-oh. Good or bad?
Well, Midnight Range says if they have any in pink, Patriot could use those.
Well, I was going to ask about the pink tiger stripe for squib, but I figured I would hold off.
Then another unknown user asked, will these fit on Patriot's Kren box?
Crayons.
Yeah. So anyway, I just
want to thank Ron for coming on here. This is
I
great.
do. Yes.
I mean,
thank you.
because it's opening up. I mean, you watch a lot of.
Oh, there you go. I just got back, guys. Sorry to interrupt. You guys were gone for the last couple minutes.
Oh, no problem. We're just thanking you.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. You've opened it up a lot. I looked at your site and everything else, but you've explained it a lot better and everything else. So I really do appreciate it.
No, thank you guys for having me. We travel to put on training. All I need is a range, and we'll come on out. We'll do, I like to say we teach soccer moms and special operators and everyone in between. And we do the most basic to the most advanced stuff. Obviously all of our rifle training we offer is focused on the Ryker grip and the Ryker method of shooting. And then we're probably going to be at the NRA show in Nashville, and we'll just be doing a bunch of local, gun shows here and there every other month or so in North Carolina. But got some other things coming up. We're heading out to Concord, North Carolina next month. Do some work with Blackwater and their new rifle and shotgun they just released. I'm pretty excited about that, and really because I just want to shoot that thumb trigger. I've never seen that before, and that's pretty cool. But I appreciate you guys having me on, and just if there's anybody that's listening, you got questions, hit us up on the website, and we'll get back to you. Hopefully within 24 hours. Follow us on social media, Ryker USA, and check out our YouTube. And if there's videos or anything like that you guys want to see or you want to share, you want us to post, send them to us.
All right. I will more likely being in Indiana here. I might be going to the NRA there in Nashville this coming year, isn't it?
It is Nash Vegas.
Yes. So I'm going to try to get there myself. So I'll stop by your booth.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Anybody else got any more questions before we start winding this up? No? Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ron. I really do appreciate it. And thanks for giving us the Ryker 20 code. I keep putting that in the chat to let people know that it's available. So there we go. So before I wind it, let's see. Rich White said, I was hoping that they would have been at the Great American Outdoor Show, but he didn't see you there. You know, so. Oh,
I didn't hear that. What did he say? Rich White.
He said he was hoping that you had been at the Great American Outdoor Show.
I didn't realize. Yes, so we had wanted to do that, and I didn't realize I had the dates wrong. And I was actually at an event in South Carolina this past weekend called Winter Strong, a big outdoor event with a company called Sornex Strength Equipment, Sornex Exercise Company. And that I had missed that. We were looking forward to that, but it's on our calendar. We're going to get there next year.
Okay, great. And you do SHOT Show as well, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, we should, but we do SHOT Show, and we just, we walk the floor. We work and we get lots of, we try to get meetings and stuff set up. SHOT shows work, and I always tell people, it's like the day, they're like, you got a booth, and I'm like, the day I can afford a booth is the day I don't have to go to SHOT Show anymore. So,
yeah. Yeah, I've never been, but I can understand what you're saying there. So.
It's fun, but this is like it's a lot. It's really cool. You get tactical overload, and then I'd say the end of the second day, you're like, okay, how many more $500 pair of pants can I actually look at? Like and like, oh, this is an AR, but yours is blue. Nice. So, yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to start winding this down. You got any shout outs or anything you want to say, Patriot?
I always do. I do really appreciate you coming, Ron. And opening this up because with the disabilities, it's far in between, and we like to promote anything that helps us out. So I do appreciate that. And also, I'll mention that once again, if anyone knows SMK, check out his channel. If you go to my channel in the playlist of the PCAs or PSAs, I have something for his video in that playlist, which is the Help 22 Veterans, the hashtag. And he's got a giveaway and stuff like that. But it's obviously something near and dear to me about the veteran suicide and helping out. So check that out. I do appreciate it. And look in the near future, because I plan on buying one of these grips. Not that I'm going to use it very much, but then I will be giving it away. So just a heads up.
All right. And we're still looking for somebody in the New Orleans area, right?
Yes. If there's anybody that lives in New Orleans or knows somebody in New Orleans that's physically disabled and wants to help out with a little project, it's just something that's less than a day. If you could travel to New Orleans, that would be great. Just get with me at patriotinthedark@gmail.com, and maybe we can work out something. So, thanks again, Rick. Appreciate it, everyone.
No problem. Blind Shooter, anything you want to say? Shout outs or anything like that?
Hey,
quick.
Sorry, guys.
Go ahead, man. No, you're good, bro.
It cut out. It cut out, and I just came back.
All right, no problem. So, Blind Shooter, anything to close out with?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, in the spirit of the disabled veterans, if anybody's interested in helping out disabled vets, kindly check out the Achilles International Freedom Team. They help the disabled amputee veterans get back into athletics, and it's a great organization. Highly encourage everyone checking it out.
All right. New York Outcast, anything to close up with? Shout outs or anything?
I'd just like to thank Ron for stopping by for us. It's get a close up on his product here. So I wish him luck. From the sounds of it, it seems like it should sell itself with enough time. So hopefully, if it helps somebody get back on target, then more power to it.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
No problem.
who did we just lose? Oh, blind shooter dropped out on us. That's okay. Squib, you got any closeouts you want to do?
I had thought of something, but after Patriot ran his mouth, my mind just went to mush. I guess I'll just say Semper Fi.
Number 5.
Yeah. All right. And I want to say thank you for coming on, Ron. I really do appreciate it. It's opened my eyes up to this. I'm more of a handgun shooter myself, but this might make me want to get into long guns, into rifles, because I got arthritis in my shoulders, and holding the rifle up hurts me like hell.
Yeah. So one last thing, I can't believe I forgot about this till just now. So we got our guy out in Colorado, cerebral palsy Mike. His left arm is shorter and his hand is fixed. He's building a Creedmoor right now, bolt action, and his gunsmith has screwed a piece of Picatinny on the stock so he can put the grip on there and shoot his Creedmoor with the grip and his disability. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. So I want to say thank you for everybody that was in the chat tonight for stopping by and meeting Ron and listening to us and learning all about the product. Let me see if I got it here still. I just put his link back in the chat to his website there. So I just want to say thank you all for being here. Oh, real quick before everybody goes, my quiz for Saturday for the swag pack. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com by lunchtime Saturday Eastern. And basically what the question was, the Houston Police Department, the officers are required to purchase their own weapon. I think that on the list, there's 8 different firearms, handguns that they are allowed to purchase. At least name 2 of them for me. So that swag pack. Get it in by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and you can win the swag pack. There we go. All right. So I want to say, and again, I want to say thank you very much, and I'll be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. for another Rick's Life as I See It. So, good night, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Semper Fi.